Hey, welcome back. I'm Claire, and before we get started on today's stenciling and painting tutorial, I just want to remind you to like, share, comment, and subscribe on this video. Tell me below what's your number one absolute favorite thing about Halloween. Supplies needed: sharp embroidery scissors, a stirring stick, popsicle stick, whatever, stirring stick, Liquitex fabric medium, DecoArt enchanted black paint, ultra black base coat paint. This is fabric which I cut into a strip which will work as a table runner. I haven't been that concerned about any edges because I want it to be frayed and textured, but I'll get to that later. One roll of transparent packing tape, template from Design Bundles, which I will link to in the description, cardstock or recycling because you're going to need to dab off excess paint here. And I like to use these in my art projects, and it's a great tip for any artist or crafter out there who likes to like cut out their own ephemera or whatever. It's great. Now, I do have a Cricut machine, but I wanted to make a stencil that was suitable for a disabled person to make. And I mean, I have got problems with my joints, so taking this type of self-adhesive stencil material, which is absolutely fantastic. It is great for making high quality stencils that really last. It's really strong, it's really durable, but when it comes to weeding and cutting and making the said stencil, it becomes kind of impossible for a disabled person, and it becomes very painful and takes a long time. So the way I create my stencils is very easily using packing tape. Now we create for this stencil, now I would highly recommend, depending on what size you want your spiders to be, printing this out half size. I've gone Blue Peter and I made the stencil yesterday for this project, and I actually did print it half size, so my spiders are going to be a little smaller than this. I just wanted to show you this technique so that you can do it yourself. It really is as simple as you think it is. Oh, excuse you. So we are going to, I should have done this earlier, pull it away from the microphone. Just cut strips of tape and lay it over the top. It doesn't need to be perfect, there can be bubbles. If you do find that there are bubbles, using something like this can really help, but it doesn't really matter because all we are doing is strengthening the paper, so that whenever we're cutting out these wee spindly legs and things, that the paper doesn't curl and like get in the way and you don't actually accidentally damage it. Excuse me, spit the bricks out, Claire, we'll all build a house. So whenever it comes to cutting the spiders, oh actually sorry, I must tell you that I like to add packing tape front and back. Sometimes I do like 4 pieces of tape, so 2 on each side, but whenever I'm starting, I literally just poke and cut out the center first, which makes it so much easier. And these are going to be the best scissors possible for you to do this, right? And all you're doing is cutting out the black part. So that's how you get started making that stencil. Okay, now it would take me a very long time to do it, and because of my terrible eyesight I would need to be really up close. So I did mine yesterday, and you can see because it's half size, it's a heck of a lot smaller. Like these wee creepy crawly bugly bugs. Oh, Halloween's coming, I'm so excited. I love Halloween. Okay, now we are gonna do the paint. So you're gonna have to cut your piece of fabric and iron it. All right, I'm gonna need to iron mine again actually, now that I see the way it is now. But this is just one long piece of fabric, okay? It is an old piece of fabric that came from house clearance. My auntie actually gave me a bag of tons of this stuff. It's all scraggly, it's got holes in it, and I love it for texture. It adds texture to my mixed media artwork, it adds texture to my sewing projects. So I always have something like this quite handy, and I'm only rolling this up so you can see the length of it. It's just a standard table runner length and style. Now, I am going to pause this video right here and go ahead and iron this again, because after I folded it up it got kind of crinkly and I really want it to be as flat as possible. So I will be back. So now we're going to mix this paint with the fabric medium, and I'm not going to do too much at a time because you can always add more later. Please excuse that weird creepy noise. Had to give it a good shake there, and probably do the same with this. And again, it is equal parts. Remember, always equal parts. There we go. Right, this may not look like a lot of paint, but it's going to do us like at least maybe 2 spiders. Because you do, whenever you pick it up on the sponge, it does end up kind of just going all on the sponge. And then you have to just dab it off. And you can even, if you had an art journal, this would be a fun time to start making marks. Oh, that was a good, sorry, I'm just having a wee play here. Don't mind me. And just set my little dauber bob over there. Get myself rearranged, get my workspace sorted out, just so I can get this table runner back over and we can get started. So now we are at the bottom of my little table runner with all its wee scraggly edges. I might even pull those edges out a little more later on because it's Halloween. We want texture, we want creepy things, you know, and the more frayed edges, the more little holes, these little details all make an incredible like Halloween-y vignette. Now what you can do is use something called temporary spray adhesive. Now you're going to want something for underneath, which is something I completely forgot about until just this moment. Okay, here we go. As you can see, this is really thin fabric, so what we do is we take our sponge, clean sponge, and we lift up a bit of paint, not too much. And whenever you dab bits off, like this technique, PS, is also great for making flowers. It's a bit difficult with black, but you kind of get, anyway, distracted. So this is the way you start, right? And as I said, you can always add more. You can always go back and pick up more paint from the stuff you dabbed off. If you find that your sponge isn't getting in between the legs, you can also use a stencil brush. The bristles tend to get in there a little easier, but as I don't have easy access to a bristle brush at the moment, I'm just going to continue with my sponge and then I can fix it and add more to those wee legs later if I need to. The biggest danger is adding more paint to the wee legs and it getting trapped underneath the stencil, blobbing up your thingy, your tablecloth. Even whenever you use this to do the legs, you gotta dab. This is a lengthy process, so I'm just gonna keep on trucking. So I went ahead and got myself a little paintbrush, just a regular paintbrush. I didn't have a stencil brush. Stencil brushes, they are just round and very flat to make it easier, but I've ruined this one kind of, so I can do that anyway. But you shouldn't be able to do that with your regular paintbrushes because you may ruin them. And as always, if you've got a lot of paint, you start in the middle and dab it off before you go to your fabric. It's an up and down motion, just an up and down motion. The tricky thing about videos and like radio and all that kind of thing is there can be no dead air, but I am really trying to focus right now and speaking is just very difficult, so I am going to go, but I'll be back. Keep your eye on the side of the screen for the creepy crawly spiders creeping up your tablecloth. Oh, there's loads there. Oh no. Perfect, right? We've done all the painting. Now it's just time to set up our beautiful tablecloth after it dries. Now it is dried, you can see that it looks absolutely amazing on top of a black lace fabric tablecloth, and I absolutely love the way this has turned out. I'm sorry if that spider creeping on the video is frightening you. Don't be scared. They're more afraid of you than you are of them. Happy Halloween. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below with your favourite thing about Halloween. See you in the next one.